Hello and welcome to the Instant Impact Event Show. This is the Event Conversations and Q&A edition. I am Cheryl Williams.
I'm CJ Williams. Thank you for being here.
Yes, that was a mouthful. We're going to have to trim that one down. Maybe we'll just say Event Conversations and Q&A. Let's go. Sometimes on our event conversations and Q&A, we go over multiple questions.
Yes.
Sometimes on that one, we have one question that we really drill down on. We go in depth. We go deep and wide on it. We kind of cover a range of topics. And so when we see a question that comes in that looks like, we probably need to give that one a little more time.
Right.
That's when we devote a whole Q&A episode to that particular topic. And today is that day. So we have our topic for today is why you should have multiple events.
Yes.
The importance of having multiple events, right? And a lot of people don't know.
Right. Number one, people want variety.
Right. It's a spice of life.
Yes. Change it up.
That's right.
Yes. That's why people wear wigs, lingerie, at night. Hey, honey.
Is this the topic we're talking about? We got to take us back to events. Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Spice. Change it up.
A little
Not
salty.
the same old event. Time after time after time.
Now, this is not saying that you need to change
that
everything about that particular event. We're
we're
talking
talking about total.
So there's two different ways of looking at this. You could have a series of events. And when we talk about series, we mean you're having one event, but before you go to the next event, they need to have gone to that first event. And then maybe they go to the next one. It's kind of like, when you're in high school. Well, you're a freshman before you become a sophomore, right? And you're a sophomore before you become a junior and a senior and so on, right? And so you're taking a series of courses or classes, right?
Yes.
Same thing. There can be the same thing in your events.
In your courses,
maybe they need, this event level before they can get to this event level. So that's a series. You can also just have standalone events, and you can have multiples of those. They can pick a topic. Well, do I want to learn about this, or do I want to learn about that, or do I want to learn about this? And there's no prerequisite. They don't have to have done another event of yours in any particular order before they go to that.
Correct.
Right? Now, the other thing is sometimes you have events that are available to people that they can just sign up and come to those events. Other events that you might have might not be available to the general public. They need to have gone to a few of your events before this event gets revealed.
Just so they know what's going on and what you're talking about.
Or maybe it's a mastermind or more of a elevated elite type group or event that you're doing.
Correct.
So sometimes you're only offering those things to people who have gone to your events before. So those are all things to kind of think about. But the reason and why it's important and why we say it's imperative that you have multiple events is because people need more from you. You have more to offer than a one and done.
Yes, they want to come back.
They want to come back.
And they want to see something different. Not all the time. People go to events over and over again. But after a while, that's it.
Can you tweak and change your existing event? Yeah, you can always update it. You can change the look and the feel of it.
You should do anyway.
You should, create an experience around that particular event. But you should also have multiple events. You should have another event where they can get another experience, right? And events are all about solving problems or challenges, right? So when you're like, how are you making an impact? What is the purpose of this event? We always ask, what is the problem? What is the challenge that you're looking to solve at this event? And each event should be solving one.
Not multiple.
Not 10. Only one challenge is getting solved at each event. So when you think about your clients, how many challenges, when you do your brainstorming sessions, right? And you're, okay, well, here's all the challenges that our clients have, right? And you can just write down. You need to pick the biggest challenges, right? And that is what you should be basing your events on. And so one event solves one challenge, right?
Yes,
and
then the next event will solve a different one.
Correct. And so that's why you can have multiple events, right? If you are an event company, you should be in the event business, which is the event business of having events, right? If you're going to have one event, you need to have more than one event, right?
Have more than one event a year.
Yes, right? And you shouldn't just be one and done. You shouldn't be annual. Now, could you have your big annual convention?
Yes.
Of course you
Of
can,
course.
right?
Yes, but what about in between?
There's 365 days between then and the
Yes.
next one, right?
Yes.
So if you're having your big bash, right? That's your annual convention, or your big summer
big
thing, or your
meeting,
big winter
or
thing,
big
or
Christmas thing.
whatever that is that you're doing. Awesome. Do that, right? And then in between that, you should be sprinkling other
Yes.
events about as well.
Yes, because
right?
they want to see you. They really do.
They want to see you. They want
Definitely if you're an awesome teacher.
And we should always be working on becoming better
Yes.
at that, right? We should always be looking at how are we making an impact at this event? How are we solving these challenges? What other events can we be doing? What feedback are we getting that our attendees
Right.
or our clients are saying, you know, I really need help with this, or I'm getting
Yes.
stuck with
And
this.
you always
or
want feedback.
You do, because that helps you figure out what your next things
Yes.
should be.
Or what tweaks you need to make for that event that you just had.
Correct. So always elicit feedback and actually listen to it and then decipher, okay,
Yes.
what of this am I actually going to utilize and glean from this
Yeah.
and put it to use?
Because usually it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, we got these feedback or we got these surveys. And guess what they go? The trash can.
Right.
So what's the point? Like, just to make everyone feel good, like, oh yeah, we're really listening to what you got to say. Fill out that survey. Give us
Yes,
that
it's very
feedback.
important.
And then you get all these feedback and surveys and all, whether it's electronic or written down or however you're doing it. And if you never look at the data,
How are you going to know how well you're doing?
right? How are you going to know what they love the most? Maybe you think they're loving this the most, but they're actually loving this the most.
Right.
So you could give them a little
you
more
thought
of
you
that.
kicked ass on
Right.
this section, but they didn't like it at all.
Right? You thought you were the bee's knees on that.
Yeah, they couldn't understand anything.
They
You went
felt
too
overwhelmed.
fast. It was too much information.
And a lot of times people love it when you just kind of, you as a speaker, you love to speak, right? You're out there and you're like
Doing your
giving all
thing.
you're in your high
Yeah.
because that's what you enjoy doing, right? However,
not their high.
if you look at a lot of surveys, what the attendees like the most is like the Q&As and the panels. Right? That's what they're enjoying the most. Why?
That's right.
Because they can see themselves in
In
those
that person.
questions.
Yeah,
they
or
can
in that
see
person on
themselves
stage.
as that person on the panel.
Yeah, who
right?
just started,
So
but now doing well.
now, do you want to make a whole event out of Q&As and panels?
Nope.
No, right?
Gotta have the meat.
However, you've got to give them the meat, but then you got to sprinkle in the things that they enjoy
Potatoes.
too. Potatoes.
Meat
Or more
potatoes. Or more meat.
Right.
Yes.
Plethora of meat. So
Grass-fed.
That's right, and finished.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that in what you're doing in your events, people at an event, they ride a high because you got to put yourself in your attendees' shoes. And a lot of times your attendees, they are used to doing the same thing day in and day out, right? So when you take them,
Something
whether
different.
virtually or live and in person, in through your event experience, you are taking them to a different place,
You
right?
are.
You are elevating them
To another
outside
level.
of their normal realm.
Yes.
You are giving them access to other things, right?
Yes.
That
And
they're
you want
not
to
used
keep
to.
them there.
Right. So we have
They don't wanna-
elevated
They
them.
don't want to drop.
Correct. And so, there's what we call, like, a lot of times the event high, right? People get this
Yeah.
high off of it because it's
And
not
they're
just
floating away.
It's not just rah. I mean, you got the music, and when it's done right, I mean, the music
Entertainment.
and the entertainment
Yes.
and the stories,
Getting them
and
out
the
their seat.
impact and the community that's being built.
Right.
There is a natural high that happens off of that.
How much percent of Tony's events are they standing and dancing? About half or more?
More than that.
More than
Why
that.
though?
75%.
Because the up and the down, you're getting them
Hype.
something in motion remains in motion, right? So if you're just sitting and stagnant versus you
Moving.
get more out of when your body's in motion.
Correct.
So that is the methodology between get up, get down, move around. A lot of people now, especially in like masterminds or small group settings, we're doing
Yeah.
like walk and talks, right? Getting people up, getting
Yes.
people out, getting people moving. Whether that's moving about the room, whether it's
Going
we're
around
gonna-
the block.
we're going to go around the block. We're going to go into small group settings. We're going to
Yes.
go outside on the patio. Here's an exercise. Go outside, get some fresh air, get some sun. Go
Yes.
do this, right? And then
Yes.
come back. Or you know what? We're going to switch seats. Because
Yes.
why? That's a pattern interrupt. It's like,
Right.
oh, we're moving over here, we're moving over
Right.
there. What's happening? It does not
You
compute.
go there, you get 5 contacts, because group of 5.
Right.
Everybody
So
get
you're
each
getting
other's information.
People out of their comfort zone, their little
Yes.
bubble they're used to being in.
Right.
We're bursting the bubble and taking them to the next
Right.
level.
Just like
right?
kids, don't talk to strangers. No. The adults, go talk to that stranger over there.
Right. It's within safe proximity. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
Yes.
You're building people up, you're moving them, but you gotta sometimes gotta give them a little kick, right? Kick in the pants to move.
Yes.
But what
and
happens?
they'll stay friends forever also.
Yep. I mean, we have people that we went to events with almost 20 years ago.
I reach out to all the time.
We still communicate. So these are lifelong relationships and connections.
Yes.
And what happens is you've elevated them. So now they're up here. And then when they go home or they go back to their regular scheduled programming, right? They go back to the same old, their routine. If there is not another thing for them to go to, another step, another progression, another lifeline for them to cling to and say, you know what?
They have the remote in their hand and they're watching TV.
Or they're just zoned out again, right? Or they're going back to the same routine, the same patterns, because they weren't in that enough time to actually make a shift and a change.
Right. And there was no reaching out to them after the event anyway.
There's no continuing community, continuing going. So you can offer this next thing for them, right? A continued progression. They're like, in 2 months, I'm going to go do this again, right?
Yes.
Or in
and
6 weeks, I'm doing
it.
this. So then they're like, they know, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yes,
and so
I better get my step. I better get the step.
I better continue on. I better, I want to, so it's not to say,
get all your shit in order.
Continue flying down and smashing over here. They have, and it's more of like, instead of like a complete down, it's like a up
and a down.
Okay, we get them up.
Yep.
Okay, we get them up. And so instead of complete smash at the bottom, you're catching them in the middle to the next one. And so when you continue with this, you're continuing to elevate and to level up. And that's the importance of having multiple events. Having multiple
ways. Ebb and flow.
Yes.
Yes.
But always on a trajectory of up.
Yes.
Not letting them completely fall back down.
And crash.
Right? And a lot of people,
just let them crash and burn.
They do.
Most.
And it's sad.
Yeah,
just like
90%.
People in weight loss, the same way. People are like, oh my gosh, I lost 100 pounds, and they do it quickly, right?
Yes.
And they do, but then what happens? They go back to their normal, so then they drop, and they actually end up further down.
And getting even bigger.
But than they were before, right? And so you don't want that. You want that continued relationship. You want that momentum to stay and to continue moving them forward. And that's why it's so important to have multiple events. One, it's good for you because you're in the event business.
You're
and so you have
busy.
a series of events.
Yes.
You're able to impact them more.
You're working it.
And you're able to impact them more. And at the end of the day, are you going to make money? Yes. But you're in the business to make money, right?
Yes.
This is a business.
Yes.
But
and they're going to make more money also.
Correct. And so you're helping them. And because you're helping them, you should be okay with charging for that. This is a service.
And not
this is not a charity. And even charity events charge.
Not 97, not 997, none of that.
No, you've got to charge enough that it makes it worth it for them. But remember, each event is solving a challenge. So if you have 4 events, you're solving 4 challenges, right? That's how you think of it. If you have 10 events, you're solving 10 challenges, okay? Now, each of those events needs to be well thought out. It needs to have a blueprint. It needs to have an impact. It needs to have an end result. It needs to have a progression.
Right.
It needs
to grow.
It needs to follow.
What changes are you going to make each time you have it?
It needs to follow a series of steps, just like all the rest of them. Maybe they're not all, you vary the lengths of them. Maybe some of them you have a shorter one to get them in the door, and then you have a 1 day. Maybe you have a 2 day, a 3 day, a 4 day.
Right.
Whatever you're doing.
It always goes to the next level.
It can vary throughout those events, but each event is solving one challenge, and each event has a purpose, an impact, and an outcome, a result that you're looking to get them when they come through versus when they leave. Okay? And that is why having multiple events is crucial in your event tool belt, because you can say, you know what? We actually cover that at another event. This is something we got to stay focused on this one, but at this event we cover that completely, right? And so that's where
that helps so much to be able to say that, because most people can't.
Yeah. And that's why you want to be able to offer that, right? Because you see, okay, they're getting a lot out. We're helping them along.
You're helping them here, and you're hyping them up. You're hyping it up. You're promoting your own events.
Yep. because you know what is next for them, how you can help them. They don't know that, right?
No.
And so when you're able to bring them through this, you actually, you're charting a course for them, and they're going through. It's like a roadmap, right? They're starting here at this their starting point, and you want to get them over here to this destination. But this event takes them over here, and they explore this, and then this event takes them over here, and they explore that.
And testimonials too. Testimonials aren't going to help all the way and sell it for you.
Yeah.
They need you to go through it themselves.
You have got to show them the way.
Yes.
You have got to show them how they need this next thing, and you're able to be clear and concise as to what challenge you're solving at each particular event.
Right, and get them across the finish line.
And then maybe, the big annual event that you have, if that's what you have, what challenge are you solving? You're solving community. You're solving relationships. You're solving that
Those
connection
bonds.
piece, because people want that. People crave connection and community and
forward to it.
belonging. And that is something, that is the purpose behind, those types of events. So every event has a purpose. You've got to get specific, and then you get your team to know, this is the purpose of this event. This is what we're solving. This is the challenge that we have. This is how we're solving it. Everyone works together to the same end result.
And they know the information also, because a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions. So your staff is able to answer those.
And you get everyone on the same page. And so when you're looking at putting together your events, you've got to have one event before you can have the next one. Yes. But when you're thinking about it, some people, the reason we like to make sure you understand now before you even start building out your events is because so many people try to cram everything into one event.
Right.
That's not the purpose of the event, right?
No,
the purpose
because
of the event
they're only getting a little piece of each.
Is to solve the challenge of that particular event. So if you know, hey, look, we're solving this one challenge, we'll address the other ones later. We've got another event that we're going to be working on. We've got this event. You've got to have one event before you can have the next, right? And when you know that you have multiple options, multiple events solving multiple challenges, you're able to then focus on what you need to put together for this particular event that you're working on right now. And you're able to elevate that event.
It's going to mold into something special.
So it's not everything. You're not throwing everything in the kitchen sink.
Nope.
You're simplifying it. You're identifying one challenge. You're solving that one challenge. Everything and everyone is working towards that end result for that event, so that your attendees come out with the impact that they're looking to have, that you want them to have, so they want to continue on with you, so they want to continue the relationship, so they tell everybody, so that they get the result they came for, right?
And
that's
people
the
are
whole
going
point
to
of events.
see, and people are going to see them growing. They're going to want to know what they're doing. Just by them succeeding is infectious. They're going to want to be a part of that.
For sure. And so when you're looking at putting your events together, identify, what are the main challenges that you're looking to address? How can you put together some events for that? And start with one and then progress to the next. And you can have that one event multiple times, and then you can intertwine another event multiple times. And so throughout the year, it should be very easy for you to have multiple events going on throughout the year, because you're stacking them in a way that it just progresses on, right? So when you're sitting down and coming up with your blueprint, or you're sitting down coming up with ideas and challenges that you need to solve, or what the heck are you going to talk about, or what is this event going to be about, think about, simplify it, make it one thing that you're solving, and knowing that another event is going to solve another challenge.
Correct. That's it.
Alrighty. We appreciate you guys joining us today for this event conversations and Q&A. Make sure that you go ahead and give us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment. Follow. We're on all major platforms, whether you like to watch or listen. We're there for you. So we appreciate you jumping on here today with us, and we look forward to talking to you guys soon. And remember,
thank you.
It only takes an instant to make an impact. Bye, guys.
Bye.